Oh my gosh, it has been a hot minute since I have filmed a video, and I forgot how short I was to be able to get this perfect talking angle. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into Itzel-e-Vision. Sorry I've been a little MIA recently, but all in good surprises. I have been using this time to really research and explore more deeply into the Peace Corps, and I am back with another Peace Corps video. I'm not sure how many of you knew this, but a couple of weeks ago was National Peace Corps Week to commemorate President Kennedy's establishment of the Peace Corps on March 1st, 1961. Whoop whoop. In order to honor Peace Corps Week, my recruiter came to my university where I currently reside and put together a couple of events where hopeful Peace Corps volunteers, such as myself, could go and learn more about the program. I've learned a lot about Peace Corps through this, and now I'm here to tell you some things you should do or think about before actually applying for the Peace Corps. The first thing that I think you should do is reach out to your recruiter. According to the Peace Corps official website, applicants who connect with their recruiter are 55% more likely to become volunteers. Um, Not only are they all returned Peace Corps volunteers, but they're also a very informative resource that is always going to be readily available to you. And they can also put in a good word for you on your application once you actually start your application. You just let your recruiter know, and they'll put in a good word for you. So it'll look really good to the placement officer once you get going through the interview process and all that jazz. So definitely talk to your recruiter. I have personally had a very nice experience with my recruiter. She's just so amazing and she's super nice, and she gave me a free t-shirt for going to all the events. So, I mean, free stuff and free insight. That's amazing. The second thing I'm going to tell you to do is actually talk to some returned Peace Corps volunteers, like not just your recruiter, but also some actual returned volunteers. I think that it's definitely important because it gives you a fresher perspective than a recruiter, because the Peace Corps process and the program itself has definitely changed from the time that your recruiter volunteered, from the time that your returned Peace Corps volunteered, and it's definitely going to be different for everybody, but it's good to hear different perspectives. Um, Try to talk to more than one because, like I said, every experience is different. Basically, the way I think about it is recruiters are for application help, help with your actual application, and then returned Peace Corps volunteers are for experience, perspective, and insight. It's two different things. I mean, you could always go to the recruiter for both, but that's just how I see it. The number three thing I recommend you doing is to browse your current openings. So, from what I understood from my recruiter, she said that the positions open every quarter, they refresh every quarter. So, new openings are always going to be constantly coming up based on the quarter of the year. And some of the positions will be taken down too. So, if you're thinking about applying soon, um, it's good to browse the current openings just to make sure that there's something available for you that you're truly interested in. Um, and then each little opening, once you click on an opening that's available, it gives you a very in-depth description of what you would be doing and the living conditions of the country and uh, medical considerations you should take into account, and just they go very in depth with all the openings they have available. Number four is to get to the doctor. Seriously, the one thing I've learned that I didn't really think about was that Peace Corps, their number one concern for you is your safety and your health, both mental and physical. So, once you start applying to the Peace Corps, there's going to be a lot of medical examinations and tests that need to be run during the process. And if you receive an invitation to serve, so it's a good idea to go ahead and get a head start on this. Get to your doctor, do a physical, just go to a bunch of doctors and get yourself checked out. Because if the slightest thing is wrong with you, or if something is off and they can't provide for you in the country that you're interested in serving, then they're not going to send you there because they really do care about your health. Number 5 is to get your resume looked at too, because the application itself is very impersonal. The resume is the number one way that the placement officers are going to get to know you on an interpersonal level other than the interview. Like, this is basically your first chance to make a good first impression, because the resume is going to talk a lot about what you've done and how you are as a person, and that's just something that they can't get through the initial application. So if your resume doesn't look good, they're probably not going to call you in for an interview. So it's the resume. I can't stress how important that is. Number 6 is to have a sit down with your loved ones, and this includes your significant other, your friends, your family. I mean, it's important to understand that this decision to serve doesn't only impact you, but it impacts everyone who you've grown to love and everybody who cares about you. Because the one thing that's really been stressing me out with my friends and my loved ones is that with Peace Corps, there's a lot of unknowns. So you have to make sure that not only you're prepared for the unknowns and the distance, but just to make sure that everybody you care about can handle that too. Because it does put a lot of stress on your interpersonal relationships, and it's just something to take into consideration that not a lot of people take into consideration of. Patience, love, and support are the most needed things on both ends. Like, you need to give it to them and they need to give it to you, or else this isn't going to work out and it's just going to be an even more stressful process. Luckily for me, I have a really fantastic support system here, but not everybody understands why people choose to serve. So it's important that you sit down and talk to them so that they can understand you and respect and support your decision. The last thing I can say to do before you go to start applying for Peace Corps is to volunteer. Get some experience. I mean, seriously, that's what Peace Corps is about, is volunteering. Peace Corps volunteers and Peace Corps volunteer hopefuls should have a natural love for volunteering. So this one shouldn't be too hard. Get out there, volunteer, help somebody. That's all I have to say. All right, you guys, that is all I have for you today. And if you have any questions or comments, make sure to put them down below. I will definitely try to get back to you on all of them. Also, make sure you give this some big thumbs up and a share if you or someone you know is interested in Peace Corps. I want to be another resource out there for anybody who needs it and spread the good work of the Peace Corps. But for now, thanks for tuning into Itzel-e-Vision, and I love you guys.